All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John from Pro Craps. I think I've got the camera thing figured out. Finally, I've got new cameras everywhere, and I got the blurriness, I think, on this new camera figured out. These are OBS spots. They're these odd, there's badass little things. They have little motors on them, so they kind of do all the whatever aiming and whatever. But I'm not going to have that weird like zoom in, zoom out thing we were having before. It's not going to do the head tracking thing. So I think these are going to be stable and solid. I got them on my table. Got him here looking at me, so we should be in good shape for the shows moving forward. So as we're doing it, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know privately if the screens look good, if the cameras are crisp and clear, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, with that said, let's just jump into it here and get into the regular show. So oh wait, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go here. Sorry about that. Let's first look at the schedule today. There's a lot going on. Actually, today's kind of a busy day, and I love seeing this. By the way, I'm going to show you the. I'm going to go show you the other screen here. Give me a second to bring up Edge. This is actually pretty cool. Here's the schedule on the website, and if you look, we had Joe go live this morning. Obviously, he goes live at 6 o'clock my time. Then you got my two shows right here, and then you got moving forward. You got Alfredo, and then Yahtzee Challenge with Big AZ later on tonight. And those times, by the way, are showing you Pacific, but the app will show them to you in your local time. So you have 3:30, 5:30, and 7. Boom, boom, boom. Basically, craps all afternoon long. Eventually, I'm going to have Jacob and the Hawaiians on here too. So you'll get to see when they're going live. And with Craig OBC, if he does his Beat OBC live and schedules it ahead of time, those will show here as well. Anybody who's going live with a pre-scheduled thing would show here. Ideally, schedule your stuff 24 hours in advance. That way I can see them, right? That way this thing picks it up earlier. But there it is. There's your live schedule, which I think is actually pretty cool that we've got so many things happening. I want that schedule filled out. It'd be so cool if all the CGTV providers were just like going live all the time. I don't mind the fact that actually Brian from White Crap Shooters is live right now. Our audience is probably cutting to about half by that. And that's actually okay. Like people think that I get mad at that stuff. I don't get mad at the timing things because we all have jobs. Nobody's doing this for a living, right? Except for Jeremy. So we go live when it fits our work schedule, and it is what it is sometimes. Matter of fact, if that schedule was beefed out and there was 3 or 4 things live at the same time, how cool would that be? If we had so much content that we were all live and we couldn't fit it in, and we were just going live at multiple, and you could switch channels, that's my dream for CGTV. My dream for this channel, the YouTube channel, is that it's not me, then right linear. I see it as being all over the place, and I want guys going live at the same time. I want a lot of that. So especially I want to have I'd love to have like a coffee and craps and like a donuts and roulette at the same time. How cool would that be? Like have me and like Jack Ace going at the same time in the morning, and you can just pick your poison every day, right? I mean that's the dream, is to have some fun with this thing every day and kind of expand it out. A, other games, but B, just have more stuff going on. So a lot of things in the works. I have so many plans for shows I'd love to do. I wish I was retired, man. I wish I would. Maybe I'll go play craps with Alfredo one of these days. And I'll go play with him, and he'll shoot a 65 roller for me. And I'll just win $1 million on his roll, and then I can retire and just do this shit all day long. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Reminder too, Thursday night, bookmark this on yourselves. Thursday night, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. Big AZ's got the first of 2 challenges that he does these things where he films like the Yahtzee Challenge or whatever else with us over the weekends. He did a couple with Chiro way back, so he's going to put these 2 Chiro challenges out before the memorial on the 23rd. So the first one's going to be Thursday, the next one's going to be next week. So if you can bookmark your 7 o'clock times to watch the Chiro show, that'd be really cool. And I'm going to be downloading that to give it to Crystal as part of the thing. And a reminder, his memorial service is going to be on the 23rd of September in not Kansas City, but in Lebanon, Missouri. So it's about 3 hours from KC. It's about 2 hours from St. Louis. If you're in the area, if you want to fly into it, it's getting late now for tickets, but let me know. We can all hook up. And again, I want to give Crystal kind of a good count. So that's what's happening this week. Now let's move ahead and recap where we are in the daily paycheck. So the daily paycheck is interesting. It's kind of what I thought was going to happen. We talked about it yesterday, but here's where we are. We started at the 3-point Molly, 3-point Johnny thing. And we were kind of bouncing around with like, do I do it the Johnny style? Do I do it Molly style? I can do it either way. it doesn't matter ultimately. We're going to win or we're going to lose with the dice. It's a matter of how long it takes to win and how careful we are in the early stages. But same strategy essentially. It's 0-1. It's 165 in the hole. Now I marked it yesterday as a 285 hour whatever or 200. It was, I think I marked this as a 225 loss, whatever it was. I rewatched the tape and I screwed up the last payment. I took all the bets down as losers, but I was actually coming out, so the odds came back. So I was $60 off. So I put that back in the rack. We're minus 165 on day one. So we come out of the gate losers on the Molly, which is a tough way to play. I'm telling you, the 3-point Molly is a hard way to play. It's mathematically speaking the lowest house edge way to play, but it's not the best way to play. And I think one thing for everybody to learn, and hear me now, all of you, especially math guys, and I'm talking to people like PJ and Victor and a lot of guys that swear by come betting. It's hard to win this way. It will win. We're gonna not go 0 for 30, right? It's gonna win. It's fair share of the time, but it's hard to play this way for two reasons. One is, and I don't mean to like say you have to hit each number twice to win. You do. It's got to roll, then roll a second time to get the big payout, right? You don't get the odds payout unless the number rolls twice in the same roll. And even though those bets, the flats have this great house edge and the odds lower the house edge, you're still, in order for a bet to fully resolve, let's say you have a come bet, it goes to the 5, we put odds on it, you get paid when the 5 rolls, that next roll of the 5. With a 3-point Molly, you've got 3 bets out there doing that, the pass line bet and 2 other bets. That means that you're going to have a minimum for all 3 bets to win. You got to have a minimum of 6 non-sevens for all 3 bets to win. Okay, 6. The average shooter rolls 8.5, which means that the mean there is about 4, right? You're not going to see that. Most of the time, you see less than between 2 and 3 box hits total in a roll. That's most of the time. That's what makes it such a hard way to play, because you got to dodge the 7 for a good 6 rolls to get all 3 bets to resolve for you, fully resolve for you. It makes it difficult to stay ahead of it. You'll get 1 to pay, lose 2, get 2 to pay, lose 1. And you're kind of bouncing around, you're treading water most of the time. You're going to hit the home run. There's going to be days where you hit all 3 and you're a hero. That'll certainly happen. But by and large, it's a tough road to hoe when you got to hit 6 to get it done. I also, and I've said this before, it is the lowest house edge way to play the right side, without question. Dark side, the reverse, the dolly, the dark side Molly, is the best house edge in the town, but it's boring. And I say this all the time. Like, I have math guy friends, right? You all know JB. JB is a math professor, right? The guy knows the math better than almost anybody I've ever met. Doesn't play this way, even though it's lowest house edge. Why? It's boring. You know, and he says it perfectly. In one of our podcasts that we did, he encapsulates my exact thoughts perfectly, which is, I go to the casino, right? Yes, I want to win every single time, but I'm going there for the enjoyment too. I want to go there and I want to win. I want to have a good time doing it. He says, I derive 0 pleasure from playing come bets, right? And that's the way he said it. And I'm like, 100%. Like, I know it's a good way to play. As a matter of fact, when I'm short stack playing, when I've only got $60, I always come bet, because it's a safe way to kind of keep going. It's okay if it's boring, if it's excess, whatever. Pardon me. But yeah, when I'm out there, like, it's not fun to just let come bets go out there and resolve. You're not like part of the game. You're not making decisions, even though your decisions may suck, and they probably do. And you're probably losing your money, and so am I. It's still, I'd rather go down swinging than go down hoping I walk, right? Like, to me, come betting is hoping that they walk in all the runs. That's what you're hoping for. It's like in a baseball analogy, you're hoping to get walked in or get hit by a pitch. That's what come betting is to me. You have zero to do with what happens. You're just going to sit there in the batter's box and just watch the pitches and hope the guy's wild. That's what come betting is. Place betting, at least if you're swinging and missing, you're swinging. You're part of the game. And I like that. I'd rather be part of the game. Anyway, the home run potential's there. And we're going to see some of those as we go through the series. It's also got built-in excess. There's going to be days where we're at like $85 in profit, and I've got 3 come bets out there, and all 3 of them resolve. And we have this massive amount of excess to play with. That's going to be a thing. We're going to have those days, and it's going to be great. And there's lots of options. odd sizes. We can do progressive odds or max odds, no odds. We can do all sorts of things. It's going to give us some options that will make it fun, but by and large, it's a boring way to play. The other thing about the Molly that I want to say is this. If you are, and I'm talking to Craig at All Bay Craps, I see you out there. I'm talking to SJ. I'm talking to, I don't see him here, but I'm talking to Craps Master Journey Joe. Right, there you are. I'm talking to Ian Olson. Good morning, Ian. And I'm talking to, I don't see him here, but Alfredo and Jeff and Ed Robinson. I'll talk to Ed Robinson directly. All you guys that are practice shooters, that are controlling your shot, that are doing your thing, every one of you, listen to me good. And Cashier's Cage too, listen to me what I'm saying here. There's no better way to practice your toss live in your table and you're betting than come betting. And I'm telling you that. There's no better way to do it. Why? Because you got to resolve the bets by rolling the number twice. You've got to throw a repeater. You got to set the 5 and then hit the 5 to get the full resolution of that bet. It's a challenge when you're throwing the dice to go, wow, I got all 3 set. That's great. Now I got to get paid. And you really have to dial in your toss. If you're a controlled shooter, you got to dial your toss in to resolve the bets. And that's really freaking hard to do. Obviously, super hard to do. So you've got to think about that. As a shooter, if you're out there working your shot and you're making your bets, right? Most of us have our ways of playing, our favorite bet styles, but when you're shooting, I think you should come bet. Work your come bets. If you can get your come bets to pay because of your shot, now you're cooking with gas. I think that is a really good way. That's one thing I was thinking about yesterday as I was out there rolling. I'm like, this is really challenging. Did these bets twice. So I think if you're a controlled shooter, I think you should be practicing your shot while come betting. A, it's easy to pay, easy to manage your chips, and B, it's challenge to get those things to pay. So that's my thoughts. And again, you want to practice your bets separately, cool. You should do that. But I think your throws should be come bet practices. All right. I'm going to check for PCs here. I know there's a couple that came in. Make an app for that? No, my other app. By the way, Ian, check the app now. I made a change last night. It should be working. I didn't call you back. I'm sorry. The app should be working now. And I saw a note from Jen here. Jen, you didn't put a PC in front of your thing. Yes, you should be working your odds on the come out for sure. That's another option we have, right? Working the odds or not, progressive odds or not, no odds maybe. All those things are options to do. Pass line and 2 or 3 come bets is also an option. I ran yesterday the Molly for the most part straight up. Like the first couple of shooters, I did it with the Johnny so you could see that way of playing without taking the odds first. Then I transitioned to now let me show you what the Molly looks like. And I did a traditional 3-point Molly with the Molly rules, which is not working the odds. I like to work the odds. I've been burned by it many times. I prefer to work the odds. I just think that you're giving up a shot to get paid out there. So yeah, I 84% of the time you're not going to roll 7 on the come out. So work the odds on the thing. I ran it straight up as a demonstration. Yesterday was more of a demo. Let me just show you some stuff here. Okay. Yes, PJ is frequently correct, right? And I told him this today. He got in my face yesterday and the thing. PJ Strong's is smart, and I know he's an asshole, but he's a smart guy. He's usually right, but he's such a jerk the way he presents himself. I don't give him the time of day. Makes sense? Like I don't like him because he treats me and you all like shit. So therefore, as right as he can be, he drives me up a wall because he's got zero, I don't want to say class. He's got zero social skills when it comes to this stuff. So that's my thoughts on PJ. I think he's probably a great guy in person, but online he's a dick. So I don't like to deal with him. Anyway, there we go. What else do we have? I fixed that. I fixed this again. So I jacked it up. Jen, hold on. I can't see the whole tweet. Hold on, Jen. How messed up is this game? What are you saying here? Yeah, I know. I got so screwed up yesterday, Jen. Everything. Yesterday was such a bad rhythm day for me, and all the bets were bad rhythm yesterday. So anyway, there we go. Let's move on. Let's move on. We talked yesterday. We did a little Monday morning quarterback about playing the monster roll. Right? We analyzed that 51 roller from AZ for a week straight. Joe and them guys have the 66 rolls that Alfredo did, which you can, and again, all of us right-siders, here's a perfect way to beat a monster, right? I'm like, cool, let's put up some strategies that are supposed to beat a monster against a monster roll. And it's great. We made all kind of money, had all kind of fun. But here's the thing, right? And I'm going to preach it again to you. When a monster happens, you don't know it. You can't know it. It happens in, oh God, it happened, right? How do you get set up for it? And I will tell you this. I give you permission, my permission, to not hit a home run on the monster. And what I mean by that is this. I play every roll the same, right? You play every roll the same, where my first stage of whatever I'm doing is get myself even, right? Here's the first 6 rolls out of that 51 roller from AZ. Please, for the sake of all that's holy, get yourselves out of the hand quick. 2 hits, max, right? Maybe 3 hits if you're doing something a little more aggressive. 2 to 3 hits at most after the point gets set. Get out of that hand. Get your money back in the rack that you put out there. Number 1 goal, right? Number 2 goal, however many rolls it takes, get up, whatever up means to you, okay? If that means making 10% profit on the shooter. So if I go out there 160 across, and my stage 1 is I win back 160, and my stage 2 is I win back $16 or 10% or $32, which is 20%. Lock it, right? My 160 is back, my 20% is back, and I'm freaking done, right? That's my decision point. You got to get to the decision point in 5 or 6 rolls. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to be a lifelong loser. You got to get out of that hand quick. You got to get up and say, I'm locking up my 20% on this guy. I went 160 across. I got it back. I took 1 hit at $35. That's 20%. Lock in the rack, done. Now I can go get some, or I can go home. Whatever you decide to do. Go get some or go home. Either way that you want to do, it's cool, right? I'll never judge you. If you just lock bets down, I'm out of here. That's totally cool with me, right? Or go to the ceiling. That's also good. As long as you got your lock, you're golden in my book. But get the hell out of the hand and get up quick. Here's those first 2 shooters, or the first 2 points from that monster roll. By the time you get to that 9 winner, and again, I'll do what I did yesterday. Let's pretend that this was a 7 over here. Let's pretend that this over here was not a 9. Pretend that was the 7, right? In that case, did you make your money? Did you get to that 7? Or let's say that it ended here. Let's say it ends here. Let's say that's your 7, right? At any point in time in that second roll, here you should be even. By here, you should be up your 10, 20% on the shooter. If the 7 comes, you shouldn't care. You should be, okay, that's good. I made some money. Next shooter, let's go. Right? That's my plan. Go home if you want to. Totally cool. If you want to be really ballsy about it, my get up plan, a lot of times my get even is this. My get even plan is going to be, let's say it's 160. My get up plan oftentimes is going to be 195. Why? Because that gives me my 160 back, right? That gives me 35 in profit, which is 10 or 20%. And it gives me another 160 to play with, right? I like to earn my next shooter on the current shooter. So I like to lock my initial, lock a little profit. If we get lucky here, like we did here, these extra rolls here earns me enough money to play 160 again on the next shooter, risk-free. I love doing that, but you gotta get yourself staged up. Okay, here we go. Let's look at the ways we can do it. And here's some ideas. And we're gonna go to the table and talk through the ideas that I have. Okay, and we've had these conversations before, but let's make sure that we're aware of the ways we can do it. Okay, I'm not going to give you a strategy. I'm going to give you a idea of how to play. Okay, 2 hits, 3 hits, and out of the hand. How many ways can you get your money back? And this comes down to your personal risk level too, and your enjoyment of the game. I told you can play this game as carefully or as aggressively as you want to, as long as your bankroll supports you, and to your personal satisfaction. You got to play it in a way that if you're going to go down in flames, you better enjoy the flight. You better enjoy the fall, right? If you're going to swing for the fences, then you better swing hard, right? That's how I look at this. So 1 hit and down is a way, right? That's going to be a big series of bets, right? Boom, 1 hit and you're out of the hand, okay? You can go 2 hits up and down, the skill 66 style of play, inside press, come on down. Also, that 2 hits up and down, I would include things like the squeeze play, where it's 2 hits, you're gonna take a hit, spread out, and then come out of it, right? Well, I'll show you that one too. A permanent press kind of a thing, where you're just gonna go in a little bit lower, but press, 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 and then you're out of the hand. The Hawaiian horn is a great example, or not the Hawaiian, the pineapple press is a great example of what a permanent press looks like. I'll show you the Hawaiian, the pineapple press and the permanent press, both of them. I think they're both great ways to do it. And iron cross, the easy. You know you're gonna make a quarter every single time, right? Put a bunch of money out there, take 3 quarters and do your thing. That's okay as well, okay? Again, 3 hits and you're out. You can do a drawdown. The Dallas drawdown is 3 hits. The Butterberg is 2 to 3 hits. The Storm is 2 to 3 hits. The what do we call that with Greg? The wedge, where we wedge ourselves in. All those ways of drawing our bets down are 3 hits and out. The drawdowns and the permanent press oftentimes leave you with profit, not just being even. So sometimes you can accomplish that first goal of getting even and getting up in one shot. Sometimes those 3 hits do that if you've got the money out there. So why don't we go ahead and go to the table. Let's go. And here's your first look at the new table view, by the way. Let's see if this thing works at all. Oh my God, it's so blurry. Why is it so blurry? It shouldn't be that blurry. What is going on? That is, that makes me a little bit sad. Let me go to the bigger view. Is that blurry too? It is. Why is it so damn blurry? Yeah, thumbs down that. That looks like shit. It was good. Looking at the picture that I see, it's actually really solid. Why are you so blurry? Let me go try some. Oh man, that sucks. That sucks, guys. Give me a second. I'm gonna make a quick settings change. I'm not sure if it's me. Actually, let me do this. Let me go to this view here. Yeah, that's like the wrong view of that camera. It's got to be zoomed in. Nope. Oh shit. I'm so sorry, guys. I screwed this up. Damn it. Give me a second here to fix this. Let's see. Let me put my glasses on here. What happened to my camera? I'm not going to zoom it. Oh my God. Look at that mess. What happened? You're going to watch me in real time fix this thing. I don't know why. But like it's got all the wrong dimensions. Everything is jacked. Gee whiz. Look at this mess. So sorry. There, it's better, but I have to work on it. Damn it. All right, we'll stay here. I'll fix that after the show's over. God, that's ugly. Ugly, ugly. Okay. Well, anyway, here we go. Let's get this out of here. I'm gonna go to my chats and put the PCs on. All right. So I want you to, if you have something you want to say, in other words, change strategy, whatever, drop me a PC comment. Okay, and I will do my best to put them in there. But let's go ahead and look at our options. I'm going to go here and first work you the up and down. And I'll show you again my ways of playing all these guys. And here we go. I'm going to put this over here. And man, I'm so sorry about the blurriness. I had this all set up yesterday and I kind of forgot what it was. Let's start with this. Let's start with a target. Okay. What I got here is my target is 64 across. I'm going to make it nice and simple. $10 table, 64 across. Let's say that's where you want to end up being. Okay. I like to work backwards. I like to say, I would like to get there as quickly and safely as I possibly can. All right. Let's take a look at a couple of ways that we can actually make that happen. All right. First things first, let's do 130. I'm going to do a 130 like so. We're going to go with a 110 inside. This will be an up and down play. 110 inside, $10 on the 4 and 10. All right. And we're going to play the rolls that are in front of you. This is the exact opening sets of rolls from the Big AZ monster. Now, you could have not done this and had a don't pass or a pass line bet. I'm going to do it like this. So we know we set a point of 8. Okay. We know our first roll is a 6, which pays $35. So we're going to go up and down. There's 30 and here's 5. We're going to go up and down, which means this. We're going to go $5 here and here, $12 here and here. Now, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you can drop $10 out of your rack and make those look like 35 rather. That way they all pay 50 for one. That's your first move. Okay, inside up, inside down. And then we reset our rack. We don't know what's gonna happen. We're looking for the insides to pay twice. They paid once here, okay? Now we know we catch a 4, which pays 18 bucks. We're gonna press it to $25. Remember, we go aggressive. There's our dollar vig on that. Looks like a quarter on the 4, okay? Then the 4 happens to be like, hey, the 4 pays 50 for one, right? We actually already paid our vig. And that comes back to the rack. The 4 and 10 to me are the bonus bets. That's gonna be our profit lock. Watch what happens here. That's gonna be our bonus bet. When they hit, It's like wonderful. The 11 happens, who cares? And then we get the 8, the winner 8. That pays 42 bucks, pays 50 for one. Okay, booyah. So we got, in that first 6 rolls, is actually kind of a miracle, but let's take it out. We're gonna go like this. I'm gonna take all the money down. We're gonna go 64 across. I need to get some reds for that green to make it happen. There's 12, there's 12, and there's 10. That's 64 across. We went out there for 130. There's 130 bucks. That was our starting bet, 130 across. So remember what I said, we get even? We got even. At 130, 30 bucks is our locked profit. Actually, 60 bucks. I'm sorry, at 130, yeah, 30 bucks is 20%. Rough, it's a little more, but 20%, there's your 20% locked profit. Here I've got an extra 55 bucks. On this particular roll, you end up with your money back. You end up with a, let's put a lammer in here, a $30 lock, 20% on that shooter locked up, and a little bit of juice extra. And you're playing at 64 across, right? That's your get in or your get out quick. That's your one hitting down, out of the hand super quick. The problem with this, on this particular roll, is that took too long. That took all 6 rolls to happen. We didn't get our second inside hit until the 8 winner came on the 6th roll. It took us 6 rolls to get 2 inside hits. And how often have you been at a table where that's the case? Okay, there's your big con, right? You got a lot of risk. You got 130 out there, big risk. The PSO can certainly happen. And the other con that I didn't list on here is you have to wait sometimes 6 rolls to get the second hit. Now we could have tuck tail and run on that second hit of the 4. That 50 bucks on the 4 could have been our trigger to get out. Let me replay it so you can see what that looks like as the option there. I'm gonna put the bets all back out here again. Give me a second to get it all reset. I'll take the $64 down. Let's get back our 110 inside. I'll show you what could have been if we had done it a little bit less aggressively and waited for that. Because I put the 4 and 10 in this strategy, in the 130, because I don't want to miss out on these things. So again, point a set of 8. We catch the 6. We're gonna press the insides like so. That's our second hit. Then that 4 comes twice in a row. So 10 goes to 25 with a dollar change. Okay, the 25 wins 50, and you can say, okay, I'm done. Right? We got this didn't happen, but that happened. That's fantastic, right? If we still go to 64 across, let's do it. Let's bring all these bets down, and we'll get. Let's see. I got to get a red in here. We get a green turned into reds, and we'll see what happens when we do that. There's 64 across, and I got 125, 130. There's my money back. Here is $35, which is that 20% lock that I was talking about. So in that case, you could have bugged out after the 4 and be out of the hand and locked in profit in 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls. Got lucky, we buckshot on the 4 there. That instant repeat is a bonus time. If you still waited for the inside hits, like I did the first time, you're out of the hand with a lock, an excess lock, and you're still playing. That's a way to do it, right? Get out of the hand quick And in this case, we got out of the hand and also got into phase 2, which is a little bit of lock profit. That's cool. Let's reset. Let's go 2 hits. That was the 2 hits up and down. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I did it ass backwards. That was the 2 hits up and down. The 1 hit and down, I should be resetting the rack this way. Let me go one hit and down and show you a couple ways to do that. Now here's a lot of ways to do this. I'm going to demonstrate when I do the live, the big video, I'll reverse the screens there. So a 1 hit and down strategy looks like this. And this is going to be, again, working backwards. I want to be 64 across. Well, how best can I make $64? How can I make $64 in 1 hit? Well, on the inside, it's 220. You know this. 220 inside, those bets will all pay 70 bucks. Okay? On the 4 and 10, you got to put 35 out there. Buy them for $35. It's going to cost you, to buy them for 35 bucks, it's going to cost you 4 bucks. 2 here and 2 here. It's going to cost you $4 in VIG. Depending on where you play, that gets paid ahead or it gets paid after. If it's auto buy, you pay the VIG on the win after the bet gets resolved. We're going to play it that way this time so you can see it. So here we are. We are at 220 plus 70. So we're 290. 1 hit and down. 290, 1 hit and down. It only takes 1 hit. So we set the point of 8. We catch a 6, and you're at 70 bucks. Boom, boom. All of this can come back, right? You don't got to pay the VIG. If you bring it all down, you're back now, and you have your whole 220 back in your rack. Boom, boom. You got 70 bucks. You're playing 64 across in 1 hit. That's fantastic, right? It's great. If you can afford to put 290 out there, which by my math, my 3rd grade math, is about double or more of what we just did, the 130, right? 290 is more than double 130, which means the PSO that actually happens, right? 1 hit and down, I can make that all the time, right? Sure, you can 85% of the time, you're gonna make it. Matter of fact, not quite 80%. I think it's like 66% of the time you're gonna make it because you got the field to deal with, the horn numbers to deal with. But yeah, you're gonna make that. You're gonna not lose those bets 84% of the time, right? When you're not having a 7. But that PSO is gonna come. You're gonna catch somebody that rolls a 2, an 11, and a 7, and you're never gonna get your freaking money. That's the con. It's massive risk for 1 hit and down. We've all seen the 1 hit can't miss, right? Lay the 10 for 300, right? And do, or more than that. You'll go, again, 220 in and 35 on the 4, right? Now you're at 220. How much is that? 220 plus 35. That sounds like 255 to me. This here needs to be 500, 600 bucks, right? To win 300. That's the 1 hit can't miss, essentially, right? You're going to lay the 10 or the 4 for something massive, get everything else. So if the 7 comes here, you win 300, you lose 270, or whatever this is, you lose 255, and you, okay, try it again. If you roll a 10, you're screwed, right? I watched a good friend of mine, Greg, roll this strategy out, and he rolled like 10 10s in a row, or like 11 10s in a row he rolled one day. This is a loser. Ultimately, right, when this happens, recovering 600 bucks when you're only making 70 bucks at a time, and technically you're making 70 bucks, you're going out at 64, you're making $4, right? So if you lose 600 bucks and on the next roll, you catch the number and you're out there for 64 across, well, great, you won $4 and you're $596 down, okay? So think about the devastation that is. When you're doing a big giant lay to save these bets, even for 1 roll, it's a disastrous outcome. You'll never recover from that. You need a miracle roll to get that back, or you're going to be there all damn day waiting for it, right? Grinding out 10, 20, 30 bucks at a time to earn back that. The magical 1 hit can't miss in that circumstance is a really tough way to get after it. Really tough way to get after it. But the 320 across, again, if you get a PSO, yeah, you lose 320, but you're not losing 600, right? You take the 320 hit or the 220 inside. If you go 220 inside and leave the 4 and 10 out of it, you're going to crash and burn. a lot more often. Trust me on that. So that's a tough way to do it, but there's goodness to it, right? It's only one hit. You take time out of the equation, right? And you're playing quote unquote for real, quick. In the rolls you're looking at, you're playing 64 across immediately. You get the 4, and the 8 winner, paid. Those are profit hits. Those are all half press profit hits for you, however you're playing that out. You can make big hay when you're doing that. So that's a great way to go if you can afford the initial output on that, right? It's kind of hard to do. All right, our next one is going to be this, the permanent press style of play. So there's a couple ways to do this. So let's go ahead and do, I'll set up the exact same way. We'll do a 130 inside or 110 inside and 10 on the 4 and 10. And the permanent press way of playing, this can be done a lot of ways. And I'll show you just 2 of them, okay? One way is a strict permanent press. So let's take a look at the rolls we have. Okay, the first roll is the 8, obviously. Then we catch a 6, and the 6 pays 35 bucks. If I pay it 25, 30, 5, and we take 22, and we press the insides by 22 bucks. Boom, 12 into the rack. Then we catch a 4, and the 4 pays $18. Again, we're not going to hammer the 4 and 10. We're going to use it as what it is. We're going to take $1 back, drop a nickel, and press the inside, $22. We're going to do this at least 3 times. That's our second win. If you're counting numbers, that's $44 in wins so far. 22 and 22 is what's out here. You got 44 bucks out here. And if you take 44 plus 4, that's 48, plus 5 is $53 is what you have to play with. You're not quite there yet. We catch another 4 for $18. I'll do it again, 18 bucks. Oops. We'll take $1 back. We'll drop a nickel. We'll permanent press it one more time. Now you're at hit number 3. Finally, you catch the 11, and then you catch the winner 8. On hit number 4, permanent press, the 4th hit. That 8 at $48 pays $56. And now we can go to 64 across. So there's 50. I'll do it easy way. 50. This is how they do it at the casino, right? 55, 56. There's 65. Everything else comes back to you. And they'll give you a buck change, and they'll reset you. Now, how do we do? We're probably pretty close to being 130 here, I think, right? There's 100. There's the 130. Back in the rack. And you've got 50, 60 bucks in profits. That's $10, and that's 50. So 60 bucks in lock. So permanent press, you could have maybe not done the 4th one, I suppose, right? But there you are, 64 across, and you're playing with your money back plus a little bit of juice. That's a way to go. I like that way, the permanent press way, especially when you're, playing quote unquote random throwers. You have no idea what's coming, right? Like I think that guys like Alfredo and the other good shooters would say, well, I'm throwing X, therefore you should bet on X, right? The reality is we don't know where the dice are going to put us. So betting across, spraying and praying, if you're doing it this way, you got to spray and pray to some degree. All right, here we go. Let's do the pineapple press. Okay, pineapple press, another permanent press style of play where you're just going to press and the money shot is hit 4. This takes 4 hits. First hit is that 6 for 35 bucks. And again, what you do is I'm going to pay it like this. There's 35. I would actually drop $1 from my rack to make it look like 36. And the pineapple press is you press the inside out. So the first hit goes to the 6 and the 8. Stack them all the way up. Then you catch a 4, which pays 18 bucks. Okay. Now again, I'm going to drop, in this case, I would drop $3 out of my rack. So I'm technically down 4 bucks out of my rack. Right? But what I'm going to do with that is press the 5 and the 9 by $10 each. So you're going to press the 6 and 8, then you're going to press the 5 and 9, then the 4 hits again, another $18. And once again, you're going to drop a couple of bucks out of your rack here to make this one work. Drop 2 bucks. So I can go $10 on the 4 and 10. I've pressed the 6 and 8, the 5 and the 9, then the 4 and 10, we catch the 11, and then we catch the 8 winner. That pays $56. $56. Oops, don't need you. Let's take it all down. We'll go back to 64 across. 4 and 10. We'll get the 6 and 8 down to 12. Okay, there's 64 across. I'm going to take the $5 out of here. That's basically the ones that I was throwing in. I think we owed $9, right? It was $9. 5. I'll take the whites out of here too, just to make the math easy. So what's left? What's left up there on the shelf? Do we make our money back? There's 100, 125, 130. There's your starting money. Okay. Here is 25, 50, $60. Just like before, $60, right? Basically the same deal. There's your, and that, again, that's your lock, right? $30 is your lock. $30 is your excess, and you're playing 64 across. So there's a up and down, or there's a permanent press. 2 ways of doing it, right? One, just inside press $22 4 times and be done. The other way is the nice pineapple press. Press here, press here, press here, get out. 4 hits and out. Hard to get 4 hits, really hard. The con to this is it takes time. You need many hits to get it, right? You can get wiped out at any point in time. It takes 3 hits to win this thing. When you're doing this permanent press style of it, it takes 3 hits of anything to get there, and you're going to be in trouble on the early 7. If you take a look at like my tier pressure way, it's the same sort of thing. The tier pressure is a permanent press style of play, and it does the exact same thing. So we can do that one too. I'll show you again how that works. And you can do like tier pressure, just like the first easy version of it, right? We'll take all this junk out of here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. You can do it kind of the baby way, which is this. First hit is a 6, $35. Tier pressure says, press what happened all the way up. And you play until something repeats. There's a nickel back to the rack. The 4 goes $18, right? It goes to 25 with the $2 change. 4 hits again. It pays 50 for 1, and you're done. That's tier pressure, right? You full press the number that rolled. If something rolls twice, you're done with the hand, and we're out of here. Make it look like 64 across. And how does this play out for us? Usually tier pressure gets you close. It's not perfect. I need to get a bunch of reds here. When it happens quick like that, it's not always going to be the full money back. Let's find out what we did. We got 100, 25, we did get it. There's our 130 back, and we got our $35 in lock. Couple of bucks extra. So that works also, right? And again, now you're out. Now your hit on the 8 is a profit hit. When that pays the $14, right? You can take $2 back and you can sister press the 6 and the 8, and you're set up for the next hand with a hit on the way out. So there's your up and down, or there's your permanent press styles. I think you got the inside permanent press, $22 every time. You've got the pineapple press, which presses inside out, and you got tier pressure, which presses the number that came until you get that condition to get yourself out. And that's another way to get out quick. And in those cases, we're getting out, and we're showing a little bit of juice. Keep on playing. All right, your next option, I think, is this kind of iron cross grind. And we don't got to spend too much time on this, but the iron cross, if you're going to play it the right way, you got to be 3 to 1. We're bypassing the point, so it's got to be at least 3 to 1. So you're 30, 30, 25, and 10. Okay, the reason for that is that, again, these all pay $35. So you lose your 10, you replace your 10, and you pull a quarter out. Right? You want to be at least pulling greens on the iron cross. That's what I would do here. So again, on that first hit of the 6, that's what would have happened. Get your quarter. Then you catch 2 4s. You catch a 4 there. You catch a 4 here, right? You're only at 25, 35, $45. You still can't play. You catch an 11. That's great. 25, 35, 45, 55. You still can't go 64 across. You need this 8 to happen. which pays 35 bucks. You lose your 10. And now here's your initial money, which was 75, 85, 95 bucks. That goes back to your rack. And now you got 50, 60, 4 across, $15 in lost profit. That particular roll took all 6 to get you out of it. The Iron Cross is a tough one. It's such small wins in here. These are nice if your ratio is good, but boy, oh boy, you can be sitting here in the field, grinding out $10 wins all day long and just hating your life, right? That's a tough way to play. It's easy. Self-service bet in here. These are same bets for the dealers. It's very simple to play that. But again, you're looking at, again, taking the entire 6 rolls to get there. Although at that level, your risk was half, right? You're at 75, 85, 95 versus 130. Okay, it still took all 6 rolls to get there, but tiny bit less risk. And again, I want you playing for free as soon as humanly possible. Okay, what else do we have? We have the drawdowns. Ooh, I love the drawdowns. Here's one that we know and love. There's the Storm. 25 on the don't. We set a point of 8. Okay, probably going to do that at 150 in odds, right? To win 125, 150 total. Okay, if I did that, we're going to go here. We're going to go like this. I'm going to probably set the 6 at 35. I'm going to set the 4 and 10 at 15 bucks each. So I've got 75, 80, 90, 100, and $10 in total risk out there. If I want to go the full 130, I have 20 more dollars to spend. I can put 10 more in the 5 and 9, or 5 more in the 5 and 9, and go make the 6 look like 42. Either way, I can be at 130 out here. Okay, we can do that for the sake of demonstration. You can go 15, 15, 30, 30. That's 30, 60, 90, 120, 132 is what I have out here. Versus I'm going to win on this 8, 25 flat and 125. So we're going to be fine on the 7 when it comes. Okay, what happens? We roll a 6. That pays 50 bucks. 50 for 1. Cool, that's hit number 1 on that, right? And when you're drawing down in the Storm, you pull the 4 and 10 back with you. They're done. They're off the table now. So you take either all the way down or you go to table minimum. Greg pulls them off. I prefer table minimum, but whatever. We're going to take them down. We've got in our rack now 50, 75 bucks. If I make those look like a green, you got $75 in your rack, 80 bucks. The next hit is a 4, you miss. The next hit is a 4, you miss. The next hit is an 11, it's a miss. The next hit is the 8, which is a tanker truck slamming into the dock, right? You're going to lose all that. So in this particular case, the drawdown doesn't work very well. In that, the Storm, in this case, it doesn't get you there, but you can see the pattern. Even if we had the 4 and 10 and play it the other way, I'll show you the other way to play the Storm. Let's do it again. Let's put the 4 and 10 back out there at 15 bucks. So we got our hit on the 6, the 50 for 1. The 4 hits, pays $27. Actually, I'm lying to you. After the 6, we would have taken them down to table minimum. So that would have paid 18. And the 5 and 9 go down to table minimum, down to $10. Now you brought back 115, 18. Okay, the 4 and 10 hit again, or the 4 hits the second time. Again, it's $18. We'll do 20. No, yeah, 20 for 2. And the 6 goes down to table minimum. You pull it back. Now what you've done, there's 130. There is $25, $35 in profit. Locked up. The odds come back. The 8 rolls, and you lose a quarter. So you're technically speaking, you're down to a $10 profit, but it got you out. That's one way of drawing down. The 8, using that don't as a helper, right? The don't pass will kill you on a monster roll, obviously. Let's do it again. Another version of a drawdown is the Butterberg. Butterberg works the same way, but without that big don't, okay? I like that one. Let's get it set up. I'll do the normal 110 and 10. Okay, and the Butterberg on the 8, what happens is the number that rolls is the one you drop down. And again, you probably have that big don't down there. You're probably going to have that same thing with the Butterberg, the way that he plays it. Okay, catch a 6, it's 35 bucks. It comes down, completely down, or comes down to table minimum. You know, take the nickel there, make it look like that. Come on. Now the 4 and 10 are already at table minimum. So when that 4 hits for 18 bucks, there's nowhere for it to go, but stay there. So we're gonna leave it up. It hits again. We'll do 20 for 2. We catch the 11, and then we catch the 8, and we're gonna be screwed on the 8. So the Butterberg in this case doesn't work at all. In this particular one, it's one of those things where against those rolls, you got 1 to draw down, you had 2 already at table min, and you end up with 75 bucks in the rack, 75, 85 bucks in the rack, and you're gonna eat the odds over here. But that's a way on a, you know, quote unquote better roll to be out quick. All right, let's do another one. Another draw, we'll do the Dallas drawdown this time. The Dallas drawdown, and again, we're looking to be at 64 across. So the Dallas drawdown works, and you can do it in a number of ways. Again, reducing your exposure as you go. So if I want to be at 64, what I want to do is have each bet be at 4 times that, okay? So what we do is this, we're going to go, if 10 is my downstroke, I want to be at 40. So we're going to go 25, 40 on the 10, 25, 40 on the 9, 25, 40 on the 5, and 25, 40 on the 4, 56, I'm sorry, 48 on the 6 and 8. All right, 45, 48, that's 4 units on each bet. And that's a significant number. Here's what's gonna happen. We set the point of 8. The Dallas drawdown says, bring me down a full unit every time. So this pays 56 bucks, 55, $56, and we drop down 2 full units. So this goes from 40 to 30, 40 to 30. And here we're gonna drop down by 12 bucks to 36. Follow me? One full drop. I want you to see what's going to happen in the rack. I'm going to make these look like green chips. There's your 115. That's a red. So you have 120 in the rack after the very first shot. Your second drawdown, we catch a 4, 30 pays 60 bucks. Minus our VIG, of course. There's our change. Okay. Draw it down again. Now they all look like $20 bets. Okay. You can go right from here to 64 if you want to, because you're going to be in profit. If you want to go down to 64 across right now, 50, 60, 5. Check it out. We can take 2 hits and come down. Because there's 115. What were we out there for? We were out there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We were out there for 240. We were out there for 256, right? So do we have 256 back in the rack? There's 200, 25. There's 256 in the rack, plus a quarter in profit. So in that case, oh, I added wrong. There's 250, sorry, 5. There's 256. This is profit. My bad. My bad. So in 2 hits on the Dallas drawdown, you have your money back, which was more than 130. So again, a much bigger risk, plus 25. That's actually exactly 50 bucks, plus $50 in profit. So again, 2 hits, money back in profit. What is the risk? right? It takes 2-3 hits to get there. You require an enormous amount of money out here, and your wipeouts are devastating, right? You're going to burn 250 or whatever that was every time you don't make it. So the drawdown's fun, but damn, you can get your ass kicked in it. Now look, this case here, we drew it down twice. We went from the 256 down to whatever that was, one level less than that, or one full level less than that. We brought back 50 bucks plus our money, plus we're playing. If you drew it down one more time to 64 across, you end up with a full $200 in profit. Okay, the next drawdown puts you into that next stratosphere. So drawdown on level 3, level 2 gets you even, level 3 gets you out of the hand. You could be out of here pretty easily on the drawdown on that next hit. The 8 hit would have gotten us all the way down, out of the hand, into a bunch of profit. But that's, again, another way to do it is this drawing things down. Putting big money out there, every time you get a hit, take some back, take some back, take some back, and you're left with the bet you want to be at. That's drawdown style play. And it's difficult, right? That you're going to get wiped out a lot on those early 7s, and it's going to be super painful. So I think that's all. I think it's the last one. So let's go back over here and talk one-on-one with you. I didn't see any comments come through, which means either you've all left me or I was talking nonsense. Either way, we're coming back here and let's see. Again, apologies. I don't know what happened to my camera. I had that thing dialed in yesterday, and when it turned itself back on and zoomed in on the table, it just blurred itself out. I'm not sure why it got blurred out. I will check it out and see what happened. Anyway, I hope that was entertaining, at least a little bit for you today. I know I repeat myself a lot. I talk about these 3-phase ways of playing all the time, and I'm passionate about it. I'm really passionate about not losing my money, right? I'm very conservative, as you know. I'm conservative to a point, and then I'm wickedly aggressive, and I like to make sure that I'm safe. Give me a hit or two, and get me out of that damn hand. Get me out of the hand. Then I can just throw, or I can talk and do whatever. Got to get out of that hand. You got to get out of that hand, and you got to set yourself up to either walk out the door, go to the cage, right? Or stay there and try and maybe catch something special. But if you don't get out of the hand quick, if you're just out there 64 across and you start pressing right away, you're going to turn and burn and be a lifelong loser. I want you to be a lifelong tie or a lifelong winner, and that's what I want to see. So all that said, guys, I appreciate you. It's 9:03. I'm going to take a minute to make some new coffee, and I'll be in the garage for the 3-point Molly day 2 paycheck. So thanks for being here. You guys are awesome, and I will see you very soon on the paycheck. God bless all you. See you in a minute. Bye.